Welcome to the Potion Podcast, your raw look at the hospitality industry, brought to you by SHC. What's happening, Post Shifters? Welcome back to the special World Class Canada Nationals 10th anniversary series. I hope you're enjoying the episodes. There's a lot of episodes. They're short, but there's a lot of episodes. Quick concession, covering all the competitors on the very first day, which we should have just finished, and then fast forwarding all the way through to the last competitors day, for the last competitions, where I got this opportunity to sit down with alumni and guest judges and just sort of have a chat and see how they feel about World Class, especially in the 10th anniversary of the Canadian Nationals. And I hope you're enjoying the episodes. And if you're enjoying the episodes, let me know. I'm having a blast again. I may keep doing this, so you never know. But as always, team, thanks for the support. Bye. Okay, Jeff and Massi, 10-year anniversary for World Class. You've both been through the whole process. Want to actually talk about the process. And Massi, we touched on it earlier, so I'll give Jeff the floor for this one. Yeah. Like, when it came to, if that's okay with you, Massi, I don't want to hurt your feelings.
The past already, right?
Yeah. When it comes to the process of going through World Class, I've talked to how each competitor has sort of tackled that process. When it came time for you to get through your nationals, how was the process for you on a personal level?
Yeah. Well, I really looked at it as a second job, honestly. I had gone through it in 2017, and I had seen the success and the joys of winning it through friends of mine and seeing it on their faces and watching them progress throughout their careers with it. And it was a pinnacle and a target that I wanted to reach. And so I really did look at it like a job. Just so happened to be that I had another job, so 2 jobs going through 2019. But for me, I wanted to make sure that I didn't give the judges another choice. If I can say, in all honesty, I wanted to provide the very best example of everything that I did for the Nationals. And within that, I think when you look at the rubric that World Class gives to you, when you look at what the challenge looks like, what the skills and the things that they're testing you look like, there's these little gaps in there. Mm-hmm. And in those little gaps, for me, is where I found spaces to really showcase my personality, the things I was excited about, the storytelling that I really wanted to give. And so, I spent a long time doing exactly that, like really digging through what it is they were looking for and really trying to highlight those spaces where I could showcase who I was and the story that I wanted to send off. And, being that it was where it was, my year was in Whistler, which is amazing in its own right. I just wanted to speak up to the majesty of where we are and pay homage to Canada, really, is really what I looked at for the Nationals.
When you say you treated it like a second job, did you keep it structured? Like, did you schedule yourself to do certain elements of the challenges that were leading up to it? Because I find a lot of bartenders, they see it as I'll do it in my free time.
Right.
So everything in life goes around that, and then they'll plug in 45 minutes here, plug in an hour here. Did you structure it so that you were dedicated to it?
Partially, yeah. I mean, I do a lot of my best thinking in the shower, so I scheduled my
4-hour shower.
Scheduled my 4-hour shower. Yeah, my water bill's terrible. But yeah, I did do that, and in addition, I had Chris and Grant, who were kind of my sounding board throughout this process, and we decided we're all terrible golfers, but we decided to take some time on the golf course to really talk things through, because that is really what we do as bartenders. Is we focus on something, the task at hand, but we're always having that conversation, right? When you're making a drink at the bar, you're not just stoic, shaking a drink and not talking to anybody. I mean, I've seen you. You're very personable. You're at the bar. You're talking to people about your passions, their passions, and I think that's being in the industry and working at a bar has kind of rewired my brain to focus on things like that. Mm-hmm. So if I'm being terrible at golf and looking for my golf ball in the rough while having that conversation, it really honed that in. So we scheduled a couple things like that. But yes, in addition to that, I spent a good chunk of time, especially after hours at work. I'm really blessed with the equipment and the programming we have at Botanist. So I would just clean up, let everybody leave, and then just like take the time for myself to really dig into what those drinks look like and the storytelling and all that. So yes, I did a little bit of both. Like, you know,
reset, like start off another section of your brain by playing bad golf.
Yes.
When you got your right side of your brain's like, this is how I bartend, which becomes very second nature and subconscious, and then playing golf completely.
There's a big question. Did you get better at golf?
Depends on who you ask. Yeah, we'll see. We did go to play a round of golf after World Class in Glasgow, and I think I lost like 24 balls.
Jeez, you didn't.
Now, Massi, you were a little bit in. We touched on this earlier.
Yes.
You had your own business.
Yes.
Like you had your own business, and as you said, you did it on a shoestring, and then the general manager left. How did you structure your process?
I did structure 1 hour a day minimum, going through first and foremost what I had to learn. Something that I missed, for instance, brand points, very simple stuff. Second, my ideas and how I can reflect myself into those ideas. How do I, just reading the challenges, you actually made the challenges yours. And I always kind of approach things in that way. There's never a strong structure on how it's going on. I just like it to make it mine and make sure that, my personality or whatever I want to express, it cannot get through the message. So,
and I know that Massi, you and I compete against each other. You did it a couple of times before you won the Nationals?
It was in 2017, got to the Nationals, and then took a break, and then 2019.
How much? Because I think sometimes, like, some people do reflect and sort of look at what they've done in the past and try and fix what they like. And it's everybody says don't look in the past, like look to the future, like don't try. But you do have to reflect. But how much for both of you on a personal level did you reflect on what you'd done in the past for nationals and regionals, and how much you were like, I got to fix that, or did you sort of just cut it and go, that was before, let's make sure I do it better next time?
For me, I think about it like, it's a constant evolution. I think that my 2017 challenges, I did some really cool things. I also, like, looking back at it, I'm sure there were some terrible drinks. I'm not going to lie, So I think about it as an evolution. Like, I think it would have done myself a disservice if I didn't look back in the past and not just see the things that I did right and wrong, but to see the things that other people did right and the other people did wrong, and learn from that. So I guess it's kind of a blend, saying like it's a clean slate after that experience, but then, taking the time to really reflect was really important to me. It's funny, we were just talking about this, and some of the advice that I would give to bartenders who have really engaged in this programming is sometimes just to take a step back and really digest what you experienced. I think in general in life that's a pretty important,
very important
reality. But 2017, like, that was a really big year for me, not only for that competition but for other competitions as well. And then looking at moving into Vancouver, where I am now. But so 2018, I took a break and decided I wasn't going to do World Class, and that's when I was lucky enough to watch you compete as well. But I didn't see you. Just
at regionals, we actually did the regional contest.
Good.
I was lucky to see you in a lot of other ways.
Thank you.
But to don't read into that too much.
4-hour shower.
But to have that year, kind of like a gap year, if you will, was really, really meaningful for me.
Oh, because I suppose that was the year you moved from Calgary to Vancouver.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that. With these processes, and I've talked to Massi and a couple of other judges, like, you've got to know a lot of the competitors over the last couple of days, not just in the event challenges and judging them and stuff like that, but like on a personal, more casual level at dinners and stuff like that. With how many young bartenders there are entering this year, not having a regionals to sort of cut their teeth, which I thought was challenging. It could have been, it could be fantastic or disastrous in the same instance. Have you spoken to a lot of the bartenders about their process of getting into the mindset of coming to nationals?
I think we tried to we told them during the studios and the lunch that we did, the way that we approach this kind of competitions. Did we talk one-to-one? I did not. And probably something that we should have done a bit more.
Have a conversation or two.
At the same time, it's so funny because sometimes they don't want to tell you lots of stuff. There's this kind of distance that and we understand because we've been in both kind of parts that competitors and judges they have between each other. apart with people that you do know, people that you do work with, or people that you know that they have more confidence, that they know you better. With some people, of course, I'm always happy to give feedbacks if that matters.
I can say
we can make the drinks, so
I can if you're competing.
Yeah,
in globals.
Again, it's happening.
I would say I do cherish those conversations. Having kind of intimate moments with our competitors who are going through something that's like both wonderful and incredibly stressful. I've pushed a lot of people to get into this competition, and specifically because I think it gets you out of your comfort zone. It grows your personal brand, it grows your identity in the industry, which is one thing that's really meaningful. But it also, it teaches you so much. And I think, like I'm saying, my progression from 2017 to 2019, and then further afield to now is, a little bit regression lately. But outside of that, I've grown what I know about bartending and what I know about the industry and what I know about myself so much more. And so the conversations that I've had with the competitors that I've been able to talk to, it's exactly that. Enjoy this moment, enjoy this time.
And on the note that, for instance, one thing that World Class Canada does very well, when you go to the globals, you have also the previous winner that comes with you. And we knew each other a little bit, right? We didn't know each other so much, and that really bounded you. I like to listen. I like to take advices from people that I think they know things, and that was the difference between, because you become a mentor of a guy that already knows his stuff, or already competed a few times, already has a little bit of experience, and that's where the strength comes in. You become apart friends, which is obviously the main thing, but also competition-wise, you become very focused, very, you take things with professionalism, but also with irony, you're ready for the war or the competition or the challenges without that stress of, oh my God, I'm by myself, there's always someone else. I remember during the prep rooms, some people were stressing and we were laughing, and why? Because we prepped, we talked for 3 months about it. You don't go there on the last second. So we actually did some of the drinks, on the last second, and that collaborations of trust between each other really shows off on that second of, now we got to make a very good drink. How that happened with the Monarch, for instance. We adding a dash of bitter.
I think the studios help a lot with that. The activations during the year, because I've seen studios in other countries and other sort of things. And it's usually very drink focused, very this is how you perfect a martini, and that sort of thing, which is always very brand specific, which is fantastic. But I think the little bit difference for the sessions this year, and the studios this year, was definitely much more of a very heart-to-heart conversation, very raw conversation about the competition and why you should do it and how you should do it, and leaning on friends.
And we had more entrances than many times.
And I can say also the changes that we've done from previous years to this year. This year we really focused on that building that intimacy and building that connection. Because last year's was still there, but we were presenting from a deck, and we were lights down and doing things on PowerPoint, which is great in some ways and has its moments in some ways. But this year we really focused on let's take these bartenders out for a nice lunch. Yeah. Let's sit down with them. Let's get to know them. Let's tell the story of Massi. Let's tell my story. Let's let James talk for way too long.
Yeah, 4 hours. We had 10 minutes. He had 4 hours.
Oh yeah. But to have that kind of connection, and then we had different pop-ups, as of course we had one at Clive's that was really wonderful, and having that, I can see the difference in the engagement because it's so much more meaningful. We've all been to school before. We've all seen the PowerPoint presentation.
And another beauty is you start listening to what actually their feelings, what I have to say, why they are entering or why they're not entering. So you can tell them as you're obviously free to do whatever you want, but on my side, I would tell you, I will highly recommend you to do this. Personal challenge, work challenge, future, it's something that will anyway do good for you, And when you sometimes you have that little, distance, it's really hard for them to trust you. When if you're close to them and you really tell them what your experience is, I think it's very hard for them to not trust you because you are telling the truth. So
yeah, it's fun to find that balance too. once before you get into the competition, like I can give you as much advice as you want. Like maybe you're not even going to enter, and I'm still world class is a very meaningful part of both of our lives, but it's not all of it as well, right?
Sure.
I'm still always really keen on engaging in bartenders' growth and assisting along the way as much as I can, because Shawn, you were the person that assisted me when I was like a young bartender in Edmonton, and like I still probably have a sheet of your specs that you gave me when we first met, and like that has changed the way that I saw how this industry could work.
I appreciate that.
So it's incumbent on me, and I'm sure you feel the exact same way. Like whether it's in world class or whether it's in the workplace or in general life, like it's. Being a mentor in the last couple of years has been such a beautiful thing to be a part of.
And I think, for this year, for instance, we are, very even stronger, I believe, to bring whoever's the new champion, which will be tonight, and, trying to bring it to Brazil with that mindset of, you're not by yourself. Like, obviously, when you go there and perform, you are by yourself. But, the whole theme and the old pre-thinking, it's not. It's all together, going there and trying to, do our very best.
Well, we're a couple of hours out from hearing who the winner is. Down to top 4, down to the winner. Like literally 2 or 3 hours now.
2 hours, yeah.
You're not going to be the baby anymore.
No.
Already white hair.
But thanks so much for hanging out with me, boys. It was always a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for listening, Pose Shifters. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I really enjoy sitting down with friends and peers and just chatting about the industry and getting down to the nuts and bolts of what's really going on out there. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, everything on all the platforms. Just hit it up and I'll do my best to answer any queries or questions you have. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye.